Hello, Chanel. Think, let's see if we have.
Hey,
How you doing?
good. How are you?
Everything is okay so far, you know. Let's see how many folks we have. 3 participant panels. Yes. Let me clean my glasses. How was your day?
Good. How was yours?
Mine was okay. No complaint. We can't complain too much this day because, you know, there are people who are having a very, very hard time. And
That is true.
they are at the hospital. They have relatives that are not doing well. They can't speak. They want to leave, but life is too complicated. And I'm grateful for everything, for every minute I can have, and enjoy my family as well. So I hope it's the same for you too. Thank you
Yeah.
for help with the committee and sending all the other panels the link. So everything it seems to be in order. Thanks to you, and I wanted to say thank you. I really appreciate that.
No
And
problem, of course.
yes. All right. So let's see. We have Luis. Oh, great. We have Luis. We're gonna make his announcement today. Very good. Hey, Luis. Um, let's see. Okay, we will promote him when the time comes. Let me bring this more this way. Oh, oh. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, that's better. It's really hard. Okay. Let me see if my time is working. Okay, Tatiana is with us.
Hello, Faye.
Hey, Tatiana. Welcome.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year for you too and all your wonderful family. You have a beautiful family. God bless them.
Thank you.
You do. I sincerely think so. All the way think so, especially your children, your husband. Yes. So let's wait a few more minutes. I'm waiting for the members. Other guests, I guess, is still getting ready to join us. Oh, my glasses are terrible. Oh my God. Need to clean them. How the students are doing?
Students are doing great. Yeah, we although we have quite a few that have been sick, but you know.
Well, it's never like a perfect picture. But you know, I'm sure that they are doing their best to cope with the situation that we are experiencing nationwide.
Yes,
I'm sure everybody, you know, all of us have our own struggles. Some up to discuss them, other just swallow them and may say, you know, it's pointless even to discuss this. So it's better not even to say anything. But we all go through different stuff. Yes.
yeah.
All right. So we have a busy agenda tonight. I see Miss Megan Barnes. Hello.
Burns, hi.
Thank
How
you.
are you?
Everything is good so far. Yes.
Good.
And thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
No, you don't even have to thank me because this is what the board it's all about, just to connect people We are the voice of the community and we have to do our duties. So as one of the committees, so this is my responsibility to make sure that folks like you who wants to share any message for the community, so we are the bridge. So
I
Rick,
appreciate it.
I appreciate that you tell your friends any message that they wanted to convey to the community just to join the community board 12, and depending on the nature of the the announcement, so they pick whatever committee it is. This is education, so anything that has to do with education, fantastic. Health, that would be Mr. Simon. Health committee, health and so forth. Nevertheless, at the general meeting, you all can come up with any stuff that you want to publicly discuss it. So the bottom line is that you remain fully aware that the board is willing always to share any message that you would like to, excuse me, share with the community. So, all right, let's see who else. So we have Louis. Let's see, so far we only have 5 participants. Let's see, where are my members, my colleagues? Where are they? Maria Luna just joined. Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Maria.
Hi, but I won't be on video tonight. I just gonna be on listening. I'll participate, but I'm not
Don't worry, Maria, you always, with us, no problem. It's an exception to
Hello, Faye. Hello, Maria. Hello, everyone. This is Curtis
Hi,
Young.
everybody.
Curtis Young. How you doing? Congratulations again.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you for your support. Glad to be here.
Yes. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, let's see who other members.
Hi, good evening.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you so much, Christina.
Yes, how are you, Faye?
Everything is good. Life is good. Everything is good so far. Yes. Yes. And thank you for joining us. So we're gonna wait. Let's see. It's 7:03 already. 2 more minutes, because I know, as you know, this is already on YouTube. So folks that may not be necessarily participating, but in our actual meeting, but they probably are watching us either YouTube or via Facebook. I think we are on Facebook, but I need to confirm that. Chanel, are we on Facebook right now?
Yes.
Yeah, so both, thank you. Yeah, so both Facebook and YouTube as well. Yes, let me load my the volume on my telephone. If you see me sometime distracting from the screen, is that sometimes I also have to look at my telephone, because sometimes folks that has been invited are having problems and they text me usually just to convey any information that they want me to know, so, or for help of anything. So all right. Okay. All right, thank you, Janelle. So, I'm going to call the meeting to order. So I just want to officially call the meeting to order. So good evening, everyone. My name is Faye Florimon, Chair of the Youth and Education Committee. I would like to start the meeting by saying Happy New Year, first of all, and wishing you all the very, very best that you deserved, and hoping that all the turmoil that we've been facing in the past 2 years stay behind. So this year give us a break, and moving forward, things, change. So we want a more positive, outcome, and that's exactly what I am wishing all of you. And for those who unfortunately may have lost some of the relative, my condolence to all of you, but life surely, will continue. So, all right, so this meeting has been called at 7:05 p.m. And today is Monday, January 10, 2022. This is the first meeting of this year. And this is the agenda number 1. So welcome all. And for the record, I would like to call my colleagues, members, so they can identify themselves for the record. Please, members, identify yourself.
Hello, my name is Curtis Sean. I'm a member of Youth and Education Committee.
Thank you,
Happy
Kenny.
New Year.
I am Maria Luna. I am not on in camera tonight. I just got very bad news. We just lost a first cousin. He passed away this afternoon about 4:50, and I'm really not in the mood to be on camera. So, but I'm here. So
Sorry, Maria.
thank you.
My condolence, and our collective condolence on behalf of the rest of my colleagues. I'm truly sorry. But
you.
thank you. I appreciate it, Maria. You can be excused, by the way, at any time.
No, it's all right. The wife and family are taking care of everything. I'm just waiting for them to let me know, the details. So.
Sorry. All right. So do we have any other members? Members, please identify yourself.
Hi, I'm Michelle Lee, and I'm a member of the Youth and Education Committee.
Wonderful. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate it. Thank you. Wendy, I see Wendy here. Wendy?
Yes, hi, good evening. I'm still on my commute home, so if you hear background noises, but my name is Wendy Peña. I'm also a member of the Youth and Education Committee.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Wendy. So we have Wendy, we have Michelle, we have Maria, we have Curtis. Who else do we have? Anybody else? Well, I guess that they will. I know that Gabriela Estrella, unfortunately won't be able to join us because her organization is working with the fire family that, where the fire occurs in the Bronx, and she's working, with the situation. So unfortunately, she worked for Catholic Charity, and they are providing assistance to the family. So that's the reason why she won't be able to join us. But anyway, I believe that this is it in terms of our members. So hopefully later on they will join us.
I see a public member.
Yes, we're going to announce it. Well, might as well let's have him identify himself. So, Louis, would you identify yourself?
Sure. My name is Luis Cruz, and I'm a public member. I'm becoming a public member for the Community Board 12.
Welcome. And I should just say officially then that, I just share the announcement. So Luis Cruz is one of the explorers for the 33rd precinct. He also a college student, and he had expressed with the board his intention to join the community board. So I guess that this afternoon, actually, I was informed that his application has been approved. So welcome, Luis. We delighted to have you. We need more young people, to join us. Definitely, this is our goal. So Kenny is the youngest that we have. So you are actually the youngest now. Yes. So welcome.
I wasn't the youngest. I'm 42, Maria. I'm sure that there's.
To me. You could be my son anyway. Yes, you are. All right, so let's proceed. I don't think that we have any other new member that has joined us in between. Oh yes, we have Daniel. Daniel, do you want to identify yourself for the record, please? Daniel. Uh-oh. Daniel? Well, all right. All right, so I guess that he will do that later on. So, all right. So as you can see, let's go throughout the agenda. As you can see, we had two wonderful presentations. The first presentation that we have, it's like every year. Well, yes and no, but basically, most likely yes. Cristina Reyes, who is the founder and executive director for the Inwood Academy Leadership, which is a charter school that we all know and we were quite familiar. I sincerely hope so. So Christina, usually, you know, she has been here before, and I really want to thank her for at least being so mindful in terms of keeping our community informed. So she's part of the agenda today. She would be the first person presenting. So following her presentation, which is on the title school, she's going to provide us with a school update report in which you're going to have the opportunity to ask her questions and, you know, and receive an answer. So following that, I want to say that we're going to have our next guest, who is Megan Bernes, or Byners. I think it's Byners. Well, Barnes, yes.
Burns.
Burns.
Like, yes, like
Burns.
fire, burns. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Burns. Thank you so much for the correction. Burns, that's something that I should learn today. So lesson 101, Burns. Thank you. And she is the program's manager at the Maurice Jumel Mansion Museum. And she will be presenting a new programs that is being actually facilitating at the Jumel Mansions. So you also will have the opportunity to ask her questions as you be pleased. I want to also to inform you that, remember, the first question are asked by members of the committee and then the general public. That's the rules. And then we're going to move to all the new businesses, where we're going to have several announcements. So more to tell about that. So welcome all. And please allow me to welcome Ms. Cristina Reyes, Executive Director and Founder at Inwood Academy for Leadership. Cristina, the floor is yours. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Faye. I wish I was in person saying hi to everyone and hugging, but I also appreciate being able to wear, you know, a hoodie for these meetings when I'm usually in much more formal clothing. So I appreciate Zoom in certain ways, but I do wish that at some point we can be in person together. I just wanted to also say thank you to everyone for just allowing us to make this presentation and for continuing to be partners in the community. I really appreciate everyone. Also, just wanted to introduce Tatiana. She's a lot of times on these calls, so I know she's not a new face for you, but Tatiana is our amazing Director of Family and Community Engagement. She's on as well. She might be able to manage any questions that might come up.
Tatiana belongs to the house. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Tatiana belongs to the house, and I do apologize for not introducing her. But I'm so accustomed to, I feel Tatiana is one of our, but I do apologize definitely. Yes, continue.
She keeps me updated. She texts me during meetings and lets me know what's going on too. So I appreciate her and her support. So before I launch into the actual presentation, just is going to be a general updates about the school and where we're at right now. I just wanted to give everyone a little background about the school in case you're new and haven't heard about Inwood before. Inwood Academy is a charter school in Inwood, obviously. And we have been serving the community since 2010. We had our first group of 5th graders. So we go from 5th grade and all the way to 12th grade. So we're in middle school and a high school. We have anywhere between 940 to 950 kids, depending obviously on the mobility of our students. We always backfill seats, so that number is always, we're always adding new students to the list. We are currently housed in St. Jude's for our middle school, which is on 204th Street, and in a renovated garage, which is right by the train. You may, if you take the 1 train, see us regularly between 215th and 207th. So those are our 2 buildings. That's our high school space. We serve over 25% students with special needs, which is higher than our district average, and anywhere from 16 to 20% English language learners. So we have a very diverse population as far as the needs of the kids that are coming. Obviously, most of our students being in Washington Heights are from the Dominican Republic, but we have several students who represent many different countries. So there are a lot of students from the Bronx, Fordham, Washington, University Heights, as well as deeper in Washington Heights and even upper Harlem. So that's kind of our area and the students we serve. Because we're right off the 1 train and the A train, depending on which way you walk, we do serve a lot of families who come from the Bronx, from University Heights, drop their children off, and then take the train downtown as part of their commute. So that is a little bit about us. We were founded as a community organization. I worked as a teacher before I started Inwood, didn't know what a charter school was, wanted to serve the community in a different way and fill what I saw as a gap, and heard about charter schools, and I thought, oh, that could actually be the answer. And so I learned about them, wrote the charter, and we were approved in 2009, opened the door in 2010. So I just wanted to give a little background about us. Our goal is to go deep into the community, not wide. So our goal is not to be, 10 different charter schools all over the city. We really just want to be one really good school in Washington Heights and serving Inwood and the Bronx. And so what that looks like for us is providing as many services to our families as possible. And we're going to talk about that tonight. So I'm going to share a presentation.
I believe you have access to the to show your PowerPoint, right?
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes.
Can everyone see that? Is that good? So I'm always worried that I put the wrong year in January. I'm always like, did I put the right year? Yes, 2022, that's the year we're in. So someone is raising their hand. So I don't know if we want to wait till the end for questions, or how do you want to handle the questions?
Maybe, no, we can ask questions just now, because the phase for question would be after the presentation, and I wanted to establish that clear. So please just be a little bit patient, and we definitely will allow you to ask questions, but after the presentation.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks. So I have a couple pictures that I just wanted you guys to see to start off. This is things that our students have been doing since they've been in person, which started in the spring. So last fall, we were in 2020 to 2021 school year, we were remote for most of the year, but we did have in-person learning opportunities. We had a family support center, which was for students whose families needed to work and could not do at-home instruction for their students and do the remote option. And so we had about 100 students coming regularly to the building. They were potted by grade level. And then in the spring, we started to bring our students back in larger groups, mostly by grade level. So 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. And we really did a lot of social emotional support work, as well as taking them around the community and on trips and things to really remember what school is like and to connect to their peers and to remember their teachers in person and to make connections. So one of the things that I love about these pictures, and the reason why we chose these, is because our alumni are a very big part of what we do. Our idea is very cyclical, in that we want students to graduate from Inwood Academy and give back to their community. And so what you see represented in these pictures is really the full circle. And that is, there are alumni, they're hidden in these pictures because they kind of look like the kids a little bit. So Geraldine is right here. she has this red shirt on. She's actually a staff member in our after school program. So a lot of our alumni come back and they actually work in after school. They do lunch duty or recess duty. And that's intentional. As they go through college, we want to offer them jobs so that they can learn skills and become leaders in their community. And so what you see here is really like the full circle. These are just some of the activities they went into the community. I don't even really know what they were doing in the left picture, but you can see obviously an after school sewing class. This is a presentation for Veterans Day. This young man here in uniform on the right is one of our alumni. He is in, oh my goodness, the Army. I just blanked. He's actually now a recruiter, and he comes uptown every day and works in our after school program. But as a part of our Veterans Day activities, he came and did a presentation. And then we have a wrestling team. We have both female and male wrestlers. And so what you'll see is just the diversity represented there. And you can see we placed 4th place in that particular event. And we now have an alumni who is the coach for the wrestling team. He was a wrestler in high school, and now he's a coach. So I just wanted to paint a picture of what the end goal is for our graduates and for the school, and what we really want is for our young people to come back and be leaders. So I'm going to give you just a really quick snippet about where we're at. I know these presentations can get long, and so I'm just going to try to give you guys the overview of some of the big, obviously, areas that you might have questions about. Obviously, COVID is the backdrop for all of this, but I'm not going to necessarily focus on COVID protocols and all of the things with COVID, because I think we're probably overwhelmed with all the COVID. If you have questions, I'll answer all of them. But I do want to tell you about what we're doing, which is academics, culture, and support for our families. So that's the main focus of the presentation. So for us, it was really important to make sure we knew where our kids were this year when they came back from remote learning, to really assess them. So these are 2 programs that we use to assess our students and then provide intervention. We have a multi-pronged approach to intervention, and I can go into that for people who are really the educators in the group and want to know more. But we have students on every single level. We had a new student this year in 8th grade who could not read a sentence. He was a new student, came in from another school, and he's already reading sentences and paragraphs. So, and that's based on the intervention that we provide. And obviously we have students who come in and they're reading 2 grades above their grade level, and we provide them support by offering them enrichment activities. So but we need to know where they are. And that really for us this year was about assessment and making sure that we knew where they were, so then we could support them. Tutoring, we started a more robust tutoring program this year. We've always had tutoring, but because of COVID and we knew that there would be more learning loss for students who struggled with the remote option, we have a really robust program this year at the middle school. And we're really starting out with the high school as well this year. It's new for us to have tutoring in high school after school, because usually our teachers stay after school to provide additional support. So they still have what's called office hours, but we added then also tutoring to our program. And Saturday school will start in the spring to support students even more. Obviously, we're still unclear, but we believe state tests are going to happen. We know that they canceled the regions this month. So that's, a choice that was recently made, and we're going to continue to see what decisions are made about state tests. We're just kind of rolling with the punches and seeing what happens, but preparing kids either way. This is really important for us, and that is getting kids to read as much as possible. So these are our students just either dropping everything and reading, or they have specific reading times built into their day. All middle school students have a literacy class as well as an ELA class. And in their literacy class, a big focus is reading, finding texts that are on their level, that are high interest, and then just letting them read and getting them to read as much as they possibly can, because we know leaders are readers and readers are leaders. And so that's important for us. So that's just, there's so much to academics, but I'm just giving a little snippet. School culture, we wanted to tell you about some things we did, but also about a program that we started implementing this year. So Unity Day was big for us. This is Unity Day is the same day as Stand Up Against Bullying Day, which is in October. And so all the kids wore orange that day. We've done things like had marches around the neighborhood, but to us, because of restrictions and everything, it was about showing unity and support for one another. We also had a leadership day that day at the high school, where our high school students actually led workshops. There were workshops about depression, anxiety, getting ready for college, transition, so allies and support for the LGBT community. So students picked what was important to them, and they did workshops on Unity Day. So we did a lot of different things within the school community to show support for each other. One of the things that we knew was going to be important for our kids when they came back was being able to self-regulate. And we know that being at home and not interacting with large groups of peers was going to be a big learning curve. And so something that we began training our staff on in the summer during summer PD was the collaborative problem solving model. There is a book called Lost at School, which is an amazing book that I recommend to anybody, written by Dr. Ross Green. He is just phenomenal when it comes to students who struggle. And the biggest piece here is that students will do well if they can, and not if they want to. Because what we hear a lot is, well, they just don't want to. They're just being lazy. And they'll fill in the blank with an adjective for what they believe the student is displaying. And what we believe is students would do well if they can. And so the way that they will do well if they can is if they're taught certain lagging skills. And those skills could be any number of things, right? Self-regulation. There's a list of over 30 different skills that we talk about with our teachers that kids might just need help in support in developing. We wouldn't tell them if they didn't know how to divide double digits, right? Well, you just need to know how to do that. You just need to know how to do it. You're just being lazy. You just don't know how to do it. We would never say that. What we would do is teach them how to do that skill. And it's similar with behavior struggles. You have to teach them certain skills. So we did 3 whole days of training with the collaborative problem solving model. That is through Think Kids, which is out of Massachusetts General Hospital's research arm. So I put all those up there in case you're interested in it, so that you can search that. But it's really the key is thinkkids.org. That's the key website. But I can tell you more about that if you're interested. Teachers now receive coaching on this every other week. So it's a 2-year training program, and then we start to be able to train ourselves internally as we get new staff members. Parents are super important. Tatiana is our parent advocate, and I don't know, I feel like there should be like a picture of a superhero for parents, and like Tatiana's face would be on that person. So we've done lots of fun events with them, even during COVID. So we're gonna do fun stuff. So Tatiana took them on a trip to Governor's Island this summer. That's the group that was there. Try to do as many things outside, right? And obviously when there were lower rates of infection, Hike the Heights is really a key partner for us. We do this every year. We've done it since we've started. We've never missed a year. Our main contribution is cleaning the trails before the hike. So our kids always clean the trails the week before. This was us. Aren't they cute? We've done several food distributions under Tatiana's guidance and support. but these are our parent leaders. So they would come in, even during the midst of the height of COVID, they would come and provide meals for our families and support our community that way. They really wanted to do that. That was really them saying, we need to fill this need and doing it together. We did an event for Hispanic Heritage Month. They created dishes that represented their countries, and some of the top, the ones who were voted on as having the top presentations actually came in person, and there were a few judges, and they judged the food along with the presentations. And I think, Tatiana, these were our winners. Am I right? I think those were the winners that day.
There were several winners, but yes.
Yes, Tatiana is all about giving several prizes. This was a neighborhood cleanup. Once again, our parents really advocated for this. They wanted to see, because they've noticed the community just not being clean the way that it was before COVID, and felt that this was something that they could do. And so we did Walk for a Cause, which was just to clean up the community. So they went out. At this time, Assembly Carmen de la Rosa was there. She was able to speak to them and encourage them. Councilwoman de la Rosa. So that was just a great event. So some other ways we support: food test distributions, COVID testing, vaccine site, family counseling, asthma workshops, book studies, yoga on Zoom, Circle of Security, which is about creating a secure home environment so that your children can feel connected to you and want to talk to you about whatever they're feeling and going through. These are just some of the things that Tatiana does regularly, or the school has done. Obviously, these are all free things that we provide for our families. It's just a little bit of a list. There's actually a much longer list. And then I believe what's really important for us is that we listen to our families. We are constantly surveying our families and responding to their feedback, whether that's about COVID, academic support, programming for parents. Like I said, the Walk for a Cause really came from our parents. That wasn't something initiated by the school. They said they wanted to do that. So we listened. And one way that we listened was, I know that many schools opted for completely Zoom parent-teacher conferences, but our parents, a good portion of them are like, no, we want to see the school. We want to feel better about safety, and we want to connect with the teachers. It's just hard sometimes to connect via Zoom. So we had both Zoom and in-person parent-teacher conferences in early December before things got a little bit crazier. And it was also Tatiana's birthday, so we celebrated with some cake. But this is in response to surveying our parents and figuring out what they wanted. Partnerships, we have a lot of partnerships, but I wanted to talk to you about two that are pretty exciting. One is the NYU Teacher Residency Program. Obviously, we have heard that there are teacher shortages, and there are, and we're going to see bigger ones in the future, which is a concern that we have. But one of the ways that we fill our teacher spots is through this residency program. It's for college graduates who've usually just recently graduated from college, get their master's in 1 year through on-site training within the school. They don't actually ever leave the school during the day. They stay there just like a regular teacher all day. They have a mentor teacher on site. They have a mentor teacher or a mentor through NYU, and then they take courses online at night via Zoom. And each year we have 5 to 8 interns, and those interns usually end up being teachers within the school. So this is one way that we fill the gap presented by the teacher shortage that is soon to be a crisis. And then there's a new partnership that we're super excited about called Change Summer. I'm passionate about camp. I believe camp's really important for kids. I went to summer camp when I was a kid, and I want all my kids to be able to go there if they want to. And so we have a new partnership this year. We haven't even talked to all of our parents about it because it is so brand new, but it's going to allow us to send up to 50 students to camp this summer for 2 whole weeks of sleepaway camp. We're still working out the details, but it's through an organization called Change Summer. So we're very excited about being able to do that because, like I said, we want to go deeper, not wider. And so this is another way we can do that. So that was a lot, and I'm sure there's plenty of questions. So I'm going to stop talking now and let questions be asked.
We are having problem with the Wi-Fi. I am. It has threw me out several times, so I lost track of several things. But I quite understood, you know, a lot of the information that you conveyed to us. I wanted to encourage, you know, our member if they wanted to, you know, if they have any questions. So assuming that you are ready for question, Christina, right?
Yes, I'm ready.
So much. That was a very elaborated, you know, presentation. I'm very curious about a couple of things that you said, and I think it's wonderful. You have done a jump, you know, progress compared to, you know, a few years ago. So it's mean that you keep on the go, you know. So it's a lot of things that you had implemented, and this is really very good. I'm very glad for you, and of course for our community, because you have programs in there that I haven't heard of. But this is good. So let's see. So members, thank you, Christina, again for this presentation. Callis, I wanted to see, raise your hand, who has questions for Christina? Yes, Kedis John has a question. Go ahead, Kedis, please.
Well, thank you very much for your presentation. Faye, this was a school we visited together a few years ago. Is it the same school?
I think that you came with me along, but I don't quite remember if it was, that's the one on 204th Street.
Yeah, maybe it was a different school.
Yes,
Okay.
we
All right.
probably
Yeah.
did.
Yes.
Yes.
My question was, I don't know if you mentioned much about music programming and other opportunities for those who have an interest in learning instruments and things of that nature. I'm a huge supporter of young people also having access to music education. So could you talk a little bit more about what opportunities you provide, if any, if now or in the future, to have those programs or to expand on those programs for those who have an interest in music? Our community is very musical, and I think music is always something that needs to be up front and center as a part of their educational experiences.
Yes, I agree. When I was a teacher, I was the play teacher. Like I did the plays with the kids. So I'm a big supporter of the arts as well. We do have I would say a budding performing arts program. We've had it since the school started, but it has a lot of times it's about the staff, right? And so we have had a harder time staffing for performing arts. We've had a pretty amazing set of art teachers that have really been instrumental for our students to really enjoy that kind of art. But for performing arts, we have had a few different things. So we had jazz, the program in the city that they come in and they teach you jazz, but that was before COVID, and we haven't brought that back yet. And we have 2 performing arts teachers, one at the high school, one at the middle school. And we actually just presented a set of plays at the high school that the students wrote, but they did not include music. But in the spring, they're going to merge the departments, the middle school and the high school, and they're going to present a 5 through 12 musical. This is the first time we're doing a whole school musical, and middle school, high school kids all jumbled up. So we're going to see what that looks like. But we're trying. We've had different groups of students who are more musically inclined, and so then we go with that and really try to bring that out of them as much as possible. And then we have groups of students that are not as musical, and so it really depends on the cohort. Like we've had some like super artistic kids, and we have like some super musical kids, and so we try to figure out what they like and pull that from them and do what we can. But we do have 2 very good performing arts teachers, so that's a huge win. I think the music piece is the thing that we still need to really work out and try to figure out partnerships that will help bring it into the school, even if we can't find the right music teacher.
Wonderful. I know Tatiana has a question, but let's see. Yes, Daniel, before you pose your question, thank you for joining us. I need you to identify yourself as a member for the record, because I called you, but I couldn't hear you.
Sorry, I was having difficulties on my side. So I did hear you, but I was just having difficulties.
All right, no problem.
My question is,
And you are?
Daniel Bonilla.
Member of the Youth and Education Committee.
Member of the Youth and Education Committee.
Yes, thank you.
My question is, how do kids get into the school, and like what is the boundaries of like who actually gets into the school? Like I think you were like saying you want to be more deeper instead of wider. So like what does that mean? More in the sense of like who are you letting in the school, and like what's like the process of letting people in the school?
So charters have to abide by the state law, which is that every year we have to have a charter lottery, which happens in the first week of April. And that is every single year at the same time. I don't like personally the timing, but that's the state law. So we gather applications from, usually we open it in October, and we gather applications from October until the lottery. And so whoever applies, their names are put into a virtual lottery. We have a preference for English language learners. So students whose first language is in English have a preference in our lottery. So they get picked out of the hat first, essentially. And then it's district. So that's the next kind of hat that they get pulled out of. And then it is basically, it goes out from there. So it's the 5 boroughs. So after the district is the boroughs. And so that is the way that the students are picked. If we don't have enough students to fill a grade or the empty seats, we continue to backfill throughout the year. So it's students who are put on a waiting list. Every time we lose a student, they move or for whatever reason, we take the next student on the waiting list. But 5th grade is the grade level because we have 100 new students in 5th grade that usually we're trying to fill those seats all year because it's 100 brand new students. And it's not a normal grade to start with in our district. Most kids are finishing elementary school. So that's the grade level that we usually have the hardest time filling. All the other grades usually have a waiting list. And some of like 6th grade and 9th grade are really long waiting lists. But that's based on the lottery. What I wish is that it was a little bit more, like the timeline would be closer to the DOE so that students who are coming to the country for the first time usually happens in the summer. Although, I mean, people are coming all over the place as far as the timing, but in the summer is when I feel like most students are coming brand new to the country. And that's when we would want to get more students, but then a lot of our seats are already taken. And so it's hard to fill with those students that are newer. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that is the way that the charter law in New York State is written.
Yep.
Cool, thank you. It makes sense to me. It makes sense.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Keris, as well. Anybody else has a question? All right, so then I would be my turn. Daniel, you can lower your hands. So yes, so one of the things that it's really captivated my attention is the topic that you brought up on the slide about character development. I think this is really, really awesome, you know, it's really awesome. And I'm curious to know exactly what led to the idea of coming up with that program, because the way I see this, at least the functioning, the function of the activity that you presented on the slide, it's really kind of engaging. And I know that time can go so fast that a student may not even realize, but it seems to be like kind of fun too. So I saw some like a sewing machine as well in there. That's what it was.
That is our after school program.
Who was
So
the genius behind this idea?
Well, you may know Denise Hikes. You may have heard of her, but she runs our she runs our after school program. And so Denise is a community leader and has been in the community for many, many years. And so she is always looking for new programs for the kids. I mean, they do coding. They've done the boating program, Row New York. They've done, they do whatever kids want to do, whatever kids think is fun and exciting. And so they're constantly doing it. We have a pretty amazing debate team. They kick butt. Sometimes they beat like prep schools. It's great. They're very cute. They have all their debates via Zoom now, and all of them talk about what they're going to do to dress up because they're on Saturday mornings. So they dress up. They'll like wear a dress, or like the guys will wear button-up shirts to represent. They take it very seriously. So she's always looking for programs that are gonna be what kids want, It's like the fun part of school. And so that's something that I think all the kids talk about the middle school after school program as being something that they really, really enjoy. In high school, less kids want to do things after school. They want to do sports, or they want to do like gaming clubs or anime. So we do those things, but there's not as much excitement for that age as far as those kinds of programs. So we try to do what we can for high school too, but the middle school does a lot of fun stuff.
I found it really awesome and curious too, because as the title, implies, character development is really an opportunity for them to develop the character and really looking into the what are the things that perhaps they may find that they like the most, and they may find even their real talents in those things. So maybe, I don't know if you have done this, but since you already have this program, maybe you wanted to conduct some kind of survey among parents to gather their thoughts on that initiative, and also to ask them what they would like to see to be implemented, because I see the potential, for huge growth, and that would be like a testing water for the students to really find out what their call is. This is really awesome.
Yeah.
So share my appreciation, with her for coming up with this idea, development of character or character development. I think this is really awesome.
Faye, if I may add too, and Christina, I just wanted to add that in terms of back again to the music program, we had instrumental music with engineering. And so the kids also created the music, and the other kids who were in theater put together the words, and then they enter a competition and they won nationally. So we have, and the kids, they haven't gotten their prize, but their prize was to go see Hamilton. But because of COVID, they haven't been able to do that. All to say, during COVID, we have tried to do as much as we could in terms of, because we do love our community, so musical and all that, but artistic as well. During COVID, we also did a mural project. And that was an initiative to be able to get the kids outdoors, and even with all that and all the restrictions, we couldn't do it outdoors, so we did it indoors. So we have a space in our building that it's beautifully, and the kids designed it in terms of character, the character traits. So they themselves decided on the design, and encouraging, we were encouraging the kids to think about what did they value, the values of the school, and also why were those values important. So we do look into opportunities during COVID as to still build up the kids and using those talents and using the arts. But at this time, like I said, we're limited. But we also, before COVID, we had an amazing jazz program for the kids. But, you know, we have to move with what we have. And we do take a lot of the consideration from the parents of what we are constantly surveying them. And we do have, in terms of character development, the kids must take a class that is advisory. And that has been so good. It's a requirement for them to check in and find out how are they doing, what are their concerns, and yeah, what is it that they want to do for their community. And I must tell you that after our last meeting, Liane was one of our students. Remember how she was asked? She was asked how she could contribute, you know.
Yes,
So
that
she
was a
went
tough one.
ahead. Right, so she went ahead and during our advisory class, she did a whole presentation on anxiety and how we can all
Oh my
continue
God. Are you serious?
to you know, encourage one another and have check-ins. So it's all because we also encourage the kids to do that during class, and it's a curriculum that we have. It's called Character Strong, and you know, it's part of building the kids, you know, little by little. And like I said, this Think Kids, it's amazing. That also allows us to say, how can we best support our kids?
Absolutely. And I wanted to add, especially, you know, kids that, you know, they're not afraid to come to a program or to a meeting like this, you know, and expose whatever, so you can expose your whatever, you know, talent they have or whatever message they have. And even if they don't have, you know, a talent that is so visible, but if they're not afraid to join us and speak their mind, you know, please bring them to our committee. I will make the space for them because I would love to hear from them. Besides, they're my priority, honestly. They are, yes. So just feel free to just give me a call, send me an email. We have these kids that would like to make a presentation, or she would like to have some idea or message that she wanted to share with the entire community. And rest sure that I will make the time to make sure that the community will hear to them. Yeah, this is really, you know, great. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Let's see, now let's turn the question to the, you know, to all participants in general. So anybody else wanted to ask question, please? I don't see no hands yet. Let's see. Attendees, no, I see no question. So, well, I guess that I just wanted to respond to, I know Ms. Collazo asked, how can she be? I think that she said that she had a question regards to the how to be and the on our agenda. Ms. Collazo, I know you probably listening to me now. So I just wanted to say, send me an email and send me the title of any presentation that you may want it to made and what is the name of the presenter. And, you know, we will definitely follow up on your request. I trust that you have my email. But if it's not, I'm going to put them on the chat so you can, you know, you can send me your message or any request. So anybody else? Let's see on the panel, we have Ingrid Rendero. She's the director for Community Heights. Yes, Ms. Rendero, you have a question. I don't know if you are on the screen. Chanel, can you promote Ingrid Rendero, please?
Oh, yes, Senora Fe, yes.
Oh,
This
you
is
are.
Renteros. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Um,
Please,
I-
ask your question. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, no, for me, it's a pleasure. I actually am the new director for CUNY in the Heights, right on Broadway and 213th Street. Maybe after the meeting, I would love to see how I can work with you, Senora Cristina and Senora Tatiana, because I work with, my goodness, so many of my colleagues to help high school students think about what they're going to do after they graduate, you know? So I just wanted to extend that, happy to do it with you. And I'm very special because my children went to charter school. So I understand a lot of the good things that you do get from going to a charter school. I see that, and especially having a child with special needs is very important. So that's all I wanted to just say.
All right. Stick around because I know you have a presentation coming. Yes, go ahead, Christina.
Yes, I would love to connect with you, and if I can get I'll get your email later from Faye.
Yes,
and
no problem.
introduce you to our Director of College and Career Success.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, anybody else? I don't see no hands. Let's see. No, I don't think that we have anybody else. Well, at this point, then I guess that I should just say, Christina and Tatiana, thank you so very much for joining us this evening. You see how time flies. I thought that maybe half hour would do, but you know, I'm glad that we had the opportunity to get to know exactly where you are. I think you really are heading into something bigger than what you have actually shared with us tonight. And the same line of thought, I hope you keep us posted. And please do not hesitate whenever you need to reach out to our community and convey any message. You don't have to wait for a year to provide us with an update. I'm sure the community always wanted to hear exactly what is going on. And but just feel free to reach out to us anytime that you need to convey any message. So, yes, again.
And Megan, I want to hear your presentation, but I have to put my 5-year-old to bed, so I'm gonna jump off. But I definitely want to hear about your work.
It's okay, Christina.
Well, perhaps we can connect offline as well.
Yes. Thank you.
I will do I will send your email if it's okay with you. I can share with them, with all the participants, so they can reach out to you with the Ms. Byrne and also Ms. Rendero as well. Yes.
Yeah.
Although folks already from your organization are already in contact with CUNY in the Heights, but I make sure that you will get connected. Yes. So I want to thank you again. Tatiana, you're welcome to stick around as well.
Yes,
And,
I wanted to say, just because you mentioned Faye, our
Yes.
school is also collecting donations right now. And we will be providing donations to families who were affected by the fire in the Bronx. And we also did a big giveaway as well, and did a GoFundMe for the families who were affected by the fire on Post. So our families are very active in helping other communities. So I just wanted to let you know that you can count on us. And if there is anybody who, like you said, that the other member wanted to, you're connected, I would love to know so that we can, align forces so that we can provide more support for those families in the Bronx.
Wonderful. All right. So you feel free also, actually feel free to share your contact information on the chat so people can have, that would be faster, and share Christina as well. And we all going to be connected. So that would be faster and even more accurate, I should say. Yes. All right. Thank you, Christina. And thank you, Tatiana.
Thank you.
So while you add the information at the chat, I'm going to proceed with our agenda. And I would like to introduce our next guest, Megan Burns. As I say, she's the program manager at the Morris Jumel Mansion Museum. And she will be presenting a new school school programs at the Jumel Mansions. And at the end, again, you will have the opportunity to ask questions. So, Ms. Burns, so the floor is yours. Please proceed with your presentation. And thank you so much for, deciding to join us this evening.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Floremont and the entire, did I say it?
You can say Faye too, yes.
Faye, okay. Well, thank you, Faye, and to the entire committee for allowing me to be part of this opportunity this evening. As you said, my name is Megan Burns. I am the programs manager at Morris Jumel Mansion. I actually have been there for 2 years, and my role there is really to develop educational as well as arts and cultural programs for K through 12 audiences, family audiences, and adult audiences. For those of you who may not already be familiar with our organization, Morris Jumel Mansion is actually the oldest remaining historic house in Manhattan. It's 256 years old, so it even predates the United States. And it's located in Roger Morris Park, right across the street from those beautiful row houses on Sylvan Terrace.
Yes.
So you can actually see here, since there was a discussion about arts and performing arts and musical programming, we actually worked together with the Urban Assembly School for Performing Arts, and we were happy to, even in the midst of COVID, create sort of an immersive experience. They were studying the Harlem Renaissance and a professional jazz pianist named Jason Moran actually came as well. So there were different classes. They were doing photography. They were, it was quite an extraordinary day. So during my time at the mansion, I've really focused on overhauling a lot of our educational programming to really engage students and learners of all ages with the many historical narratives at the mansion. Not just the mansion even, but the land that it is built upon, which is the ancestral homeland of the Lenape people, and the stories of the surrounding neighborhood, to really provide meaningful opportunities for kids to connect with the past and, empower them in the present, and to really appreciate the fact that we're all making history every day. And to do this, all of our educational programs, including our school programs, use inquiry-based and object-based learning. We are very multidisciplinary, so a lot of people would probably say, oh, I only teach history. I can only bring my students if I'm covering this in the curriculum. But we actually delve into a variety of disciplines, including science, literature, and civics, and develop sort of critical thinking and questioning skills using primary and secondary sources. And I think one of the most important things that we strive to do is both model and create a safe space for respectful dialogue amongst learners, and use history as a way of promoting empathy in the past and the present. For those of you who might be familiar with some of the school tours that took place earlier at the museum, or even public tours, they tended to focus on like 100 years of history, the Morris and the Jumel families, white, privileged, in some cases enslavers, and to not really explore the complexity of the stories at the site. And so we've really broadened the focus. And we've also broadened the focus even beyond the house to include about 50 contemporary blocks of the neighborhood today. So this school year, we've developed and launched 3 school tours, some of which have been delivered virtually as well, because we're always trying to be flexible and meet teacher and student needs and reach new audiences. So part of the reason why I'm here tonight is I'm really excited to share these with you and to ask, for you to help us spread the word. So for grades K through 3, we have a look at what life was like in the 1700s, sort of then and now, and using very multi-sensory aspects of exploring the past with hands-on teaching items. We even have activities where we use herbs and talk about herbs as medicines as well as foods. And so it's very multi-sensory, and again, getting out of the box of just talking about the privileged families at the sites. In grades 4 through 12 is really a lot of where our next 2 programs lie. And of course, we definitely have a program that talks about the revolution, since George Washington did use the house as a headquarters for 5 weeks during the Revolutionary War. But our new tour takes a look beyond Washington to talk about who else was present both at that time and some of the complexities of these promises of liberty and all men are created equal, and have a discussion. And one of the ways that we do this is we share the stories of men like William Lee, whom you can actually see on the right-hand side of this portrait. He was Washington's enslaved valet and was the only person who was emancipated by Washington in his will. And so we have really rich conversations with kids looking at, thinking about, again, creating that historical empathy, thinking about what Lee's time at the house may have been like, and sort of inviting a comparison with another person whom we believe was at the house, Ona Judge, who was Martha Washington's personal maid, who escaped to freedom and was never recaptured by the Washington family. So thinking about agency and different strategies of people in the past. And then our newest program, What Does It Mean to Be an American, really weaves in a civic engagement component, and it looks at, again, using history as our starting point for discussion about who defines what it means to be an American over time. So when the country was founded, up through the present day, and inviting the students to really explore that question. Is being an American cultural identity? Does it involve citizenship? What do you think it means? And having both a discussion and an art response to that question. Let me see here. And as I mentioned, we do have lots of hands-on learning opportunities. Those are integrated in all of our school offerings, but we also have opportunities, depending on what type of tour and what type of age group, for add-ons for school tours that explore, again, it could be an art activity, a science activity, and especially during COVID, we've been doing more to bring the outside in or the inside out where it is safer. So again, looking at the natural environment and sort of thinking about the idea of community and how the community has changed over time. In addition, we also, fingers crossed, look forward to bringing back summer camps, including gardening camp. And in the interim, we've also partnered with other Uptown arts organizations like Statement Arts, Word Up, as well as other historic houses to provide online camps. So we're looking at doing another one for sort of midwinter break as well. And then of course, every second Saturday, please come by and join us for our family days as well. So this is just a very, very quick overview. I really invite you, if you're curious, you want to learn more, please go onto our website at morrisjumel.org/school-programs. You can find a little bit more detail, including standards and skills associated with the different programs. And I also invite you to contact me either via email here at mburns, B-Y-R-N-E-S, at morrisjumel.org, or education. I'm happy to help. And to the best of our ability, you know, we really love connecting with teachers and adapting, you know, our programming to really meet the interests and the needs of their students. And including providing, some of our educators are fluent in Spanish, so providing Spanish language programming and opportunities for groups with special learning needs. And last, I would be remiss if I would love to invite all of you to join us for our upcoming Family Day during the winter, again, to be COVID safe. Each month we have a different activity kit that connects with the history of the mansion in the neighborhood. This month, or this upcoming month, will be Victorian Valentine's. Earlier it was Lunar New Year. And again, these are all free. And once we move into the winter or into the summer months, we'll be moving these activities outside, so there'll be more drop-in. And lastly, this week we are opening a new exhibition by artist Rose Dealer called History Now, which is really a fascinating look again at our local neighborhood. She's created community portraits in response to a 1901 family album from the Ettlinger family. And you can actually see one of the original pictures there. And what she has done is gone around to see these locations along the way, introducing herself and meeting some of her neighbors, some of our neighbors in the community, and then creating really poignant photographs comparing then and now. So I believe that is everything for me this evening. So if you're curious, stay connected with us. There's lots of ways to do so. And thank you very much for your time this evening. Does anyone have any questions?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I'm saying that thank you, and this is a very lovely picture. Yes, indeed. Yes. Well, Ms. Byrne, we're going to give our members the opportunity to ask questions first, as I already stated.
Mm-hmm.
So, and let's see among them which among them have questions. Members, do you have questions for Ms. Byrne? Raise your hand. Let me see if I see any hands here. For some reason, the my Wi-Fi it's not functioning as it should be. Let's see, gosh. Since I cannot see your hands, please.
You have,
just-
you have Wendy and Curtis, Faye.
Curtis, go ahead, Curtis, please.
I have sort of two questions. But my first question is, because I don't know how to phrase the second question yet, but the first question is, I noticed that you have pretty large bandwidths for your grade instructions, like for the, I don't know, it's like grade 4 through 12, which is a huge grade band, right? And how do you differentiate your lessons? Is there a differentiated version? I'm obviously posing the very large abstract question of what it means to be an American to a fourth grader. Is very different from posing that question to what it means to a 12th grader.
Absolutely.
And they're going to have different experiences, and they're going to have different life experiences that may cause your answer possibly more complex as a senior in high school versus the fourth grader. So do you have a differentiated lesson plan for a fourth grade class compared to a 12th grade class? That's my first question. And I'll pause and let you respond to that before I move to the second.
Yeah, absolutely. Your point is very well taken. And especially getting into both abstract as well as, you know, the historical record in terms of, you know, the types of primary sources that we use and have the students look at. In 12th grade, for example, we use the 1790 Citizenship Act and use that as a starting point, because it's very clear that race and gender are very much baked into that original citizenship law, and sort of moving beyond that into having a conversation of, you know, how are people defined today, or who decides who is considered to be an American? What do they think about that? You know, how can they be empowered both as voters, or even if they can't vote yet, to challenge some of these ideas? And we also weave in some aspects of the musical Hamilton, since it was our site was used as one of the inspirations behind the musical, and thinking about, you know, having them look at pictures, say, of the cast. And
that was pretty, you know, I mean, that kind of leads me to my second question, which I think kind of feeds into what some of the things you just mentioned was, you know, our community, the composition of our community, and the importance of making sure that those historical facts are also included in the curriculum, and you know, make sure that, you know, slavery was going on, immigrant migration from all over the world was coming on, was going on at the time. And we have a lot of, you know, our community is extremely diverse. You know, there's been a lot of changes over time, but, you know, we have a pretty solid, strong community that is very diverse now. And I think a lot of we talk about immigration, you know, the owner of Jumel, I think Jumel was French, right? He was an immigrant from France.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I think, you know, weaving in stories of that, I think is important to kind of contextualize just the story of America being so closely connected to the story of immigration in general. So I think I saw that, and I was like, I thought it was an opportunity to just share the importance of kind of connecting the dots, but it seemed like you're doing that. So I commend you for being forward thinking and connecting the dots to our current population of the community and our city, as well as the historical connections of, you know, those who were enslaved, those who immigrated here from other countries, those who were born here, who are from various countries historically.
And women.
So I think that's good. As long as all those dots are being made, I think you're onto something.
Thank you. I mean, that is, you know, one of my passions, again, to make this history relevant and to really connect it with the now. And in order to sort of understand where you're going and what the possibilities are, you really need to look and have a very honest conversation about the past and how we got to where we are. So thank you for that. Yes, we do talk about Stephen Jumel. We also talk about women who, both women of color and even white women, like Mary Morris, although she had a certain degree of privileges, once she was married, she didn't have any legal or property rights or anything as well. So really sort of complicating it even more. And Paul Robeson, the famous actor, another source that we use, actually both with fourth graders, some of the younger kids and the older kids. Paul Robeson in his autobiography talked about living across the street from Morris Jumel Mansion and looking on the mansion and sort of reflecting on his ancestors and what their role was in creating the country, and how he still identified with being an American despite, you know, all of his activism with the government and them taking his passport away and, you know, all of that.
All right, we need to move. Yes. Katie, I guess this is it for you and your side, right? Katie?
I saw
Pretty much. Thank you, Karis, and thank you, Ms. Brand, for answering, you know, the question. So, Wendy.
I have a question.
Yes, Wendy, I'm about just to acknowledge you. Please, go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the presentation, Ms. Burns. My question is, these tours and opportunities, are they also available to youth groups and community-based organizations that work with children of these age in our community, or just schools?
No, they are available to any students or organizations that work with students.
Okay, thank you.
Very good. All right. Anybody else? I didn't see no other hands. Katie's already. You can lower your hands, Katie's, whenever you can. I just wanted to give the opportunity to another member who didn't have the opportunity to identify himself for the record. Jonathan?
Yes. Hi guys. My name is Jonathan Vermeer. I'm part of the committee on youth and education. I've been here for quite some time already. Even though I didn't ask any question, I have watched your presentation, and they are. I have to say that they're very, very interesting, and we kind of support all these kind of initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. Yes, Ms. Brand, I just wanted to add that I think that if we can reach out, as I mean, the entire community, of course, because friend of the friends who may know teachers who may wanted to encourage their students to, you know, to get in contact with you, and so they can go throughout the experience and learn about the programs that you are offering. But I see more direct connection into teacher, history teachers. I think they would be ideal if they can bring their students, you know, or be in contact with you. And this is something that I'm going to try to see if I can help you with.
Thank you.
I mean, I can speak to the to several principal, but I think history teacher would be ideal, you know, for your program, so they can learn about, you know, your wonderful program. I wanted just, no problem, absolutely, for nothing, yes. I just wanted to say on your comment about the, one of the things that the students are encouraged to learn about, or they exposed to the question of who is considered American and who is not. And basically you collect that information once a student volunteer their opinions. This is something that I would like to witness myself because I think that would be very, very interesting. So my question to you is regarding that question is, so once you have a student providing that information, if this is something that just going to happen or it's already happening, I'm wondering if you are the person as a program manager managing that information, once the student provide the answer to the question or their input, what exactly, how did you work with that information that the student provide? What did you do with it?
So the information, if they want to volunteer their idea or their definition of what they think American means to them, that's part of the conversation. So it's part of our conversation as a group to really think about that question and sort of get to how complicated it really is and how it varies based on the individual. If they want to, and if, for instance, there was a high school group that was already studying US history and government, and they came and they did a sort of written reflection on that, that's something that they did at school. But it's not like we're asking people to, you know, share family stories or, you know, go beyond their comfort level. We've had very rich conversations about, you know, does being an American mean citizenship? Well, no. It's very complicated, and it's sort of changed over time. And some of the students have been very clear that that not everyone wants to be considered either.
No, I understand, but it's the reason why I asked the question because you want to know what is their thought on that and the question, because you have reason for asking a student you know, who is considered, you know, American, and hearing, you know, what they have to say. I was just wondering, so what was the reason? What do you do with whatever answers the student may volunteer, and whether or not you may have the answer to that question, so you will further elaborate with them, because you may ask questions just to gather their thoughts, but you already have an answer for them. So that's where I wanted to arrive at. So, but if it's something just to collect their opinion and you don't do nothing else with it, so I can understand that too. But I was really curious. It's like when you put together a survey to collect people's opinion about something, it's always some kind of outcome that you want to see. So that's exactly what I was trying to arrive at. What did you, why did you ask him that question, and what is the purpose for you, you know, to what are you going to do with those answers, or whether or not you just want to see their, you know, how they think, what they, you know, what is the belief is, what is their opinion. And if you want to offer at the end, you know what, American, you wanted to actually convey that definition. According, for example, to the Constitution, American is considered to be A, Y, B, and C, and so forth. But I was really curious about.
Yeah. So I see what you mean. So what we do is we use, again, sort of the critical thinking, starting out with the primary sources of, at this time, legally, this was the definition, and who was included and who wasn't included, and who was deciding who was included and why. And looking at different narratives, you know, from 1790 up through the present, looking at life stories, sort of how that definition is changing, not only for the people involved, but this idea that this has always been contested. And so some of what we are seeing now, or attempts by people to include or exclude people from this definition, it's always been occurring. And, you know, getting them to just to first realize that, and second, you know, how do they feel about that, and, you know, empowering them to define it for themselves.
I understand. Yes, we may have kids, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about this. Yeah, we may have individuals, students, and their parents that, you know, they, for example, kids who are born here from, you know, let's say foreign parents, they may feel that, okay, they are American, but probably the experience that they have even through school or in their community, they feel excluded. And for that reason, I mean, I'm sure that you will hear tons of different, concept that these students, may have. Some of them may feel, yes, since I was born here, I feel completely American. Other, due to the experience that they may have, even with their own teachers, they may feel excluded. So, but that would be something very interesting in your organization, collecting your student thoughts, how they really feel about whether or not, about the question, whether or not they are American or they feel that they have been accepted or not. Yes, that would be an interesting thing to, to witness.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Ms. Brent, I just want to thank you. I know the time is essence right now. I don't think we have anybody else with another question. I don't see actually Tatiana has a question, and that would be the last one. Yes, Tatiana.
Thank you. I just had a comment on one question. My comment is I appreciate so much that you use so much multisensory presentations, because we do have a lot of kids with special needs, and that is really great for them and children who are autistic. So my question is, how many kids do you take per event or per group? So especially during COVID, what would be the size of the groups?
Thank you. Yes. So, and we're always looking to add on to our hands-on multisensory, and almost from the perspective of it's good for all learners to have that connection. As far as class or group size now, obviously before the pandemic, we were able to take a lot more. So we've had to adapt because amazingly enough, 250 plus years ago, they didn't install HVAC systems. So what we are doing now in order to keep it safe is we take up to about 30 students at a time, and then divide the groups with educators and have different rotations throughout the house to make sure that not everyone is clustered, say, doing the activity at the same time. So right now it's around 30. Virtually, we have a little more freedom in some ways. And, we can take usually a class, but we have a little more flexibility there.
All right, this is good. That is pretty good. Yes, this is pretty good. All right, so I guess that any other question? Let's see. It's I said this is going to be the last one, but I try to be kind. I see no hands. Ms. Brent, I think this has been very instructive, very informative, interesting, I should say.
Thank you.
And I personally would like to witness those students when they be confronted with that, or facing that question, not confronted, but facing that questions and see their faces and how, they are responding. That would be lovely. So you got my word. I'm going to see if I can put you in contact with some of the students, history students in particular. I think it would be good things. And probably several, principal, as well. And by the way, I wanted to ask, very last question, is there any specific age range that you are looking among students? Or at least, the grades into middle school or high school or,
Right. So we are open to K through 12, and even at times we've had college groups and even pre-K. So we are pretty much open to learners of all ages.
Wonderful. All right, that's good to know, and that's very helpful. Yes. All right.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you, definitely. And I really hope that folks that are watching us, although may not be participating, but they, run the words or share the information with their colleagues and the general community as well. Yes. And by the way, you can always go to YouTube, access the link and share with any folks that you may wanted to share the link so they can witness the meetings. And for the record, if you wanted to also share your contact information, that's going to stay on the chat so people can take advantage of that as well. So Ms. Byrne, thank you again. And I thank my colleague for asking questions as well and being so supportive. So now we're going to move to the new phase, to the next phase of the agenda, all and new business. So I wanted to welcome Ms. Ingrid Rendero, Director of CUNY in the Heights. Ms. Byrne, you're welcome to stay or stick around so you get to hear what she have to share with us. She's going to share a new information. And I would like to welcome Ms. Rendero. Ms. Rendero, please join us. Ms. Renderos. I hope
I'm here.
Okay, good. All right.
Thank you, Senora Fe.
No problem. You're very welcome.
Well, I wanted to just announce a few exciting things that are happening at CUNY in the Heights. And my ask for everyone that's at this actual meeting is two things. One is, if you have know anyone who could benefit from the following programs that we're offering at CUNY in the Heights. CUNY in the Heights is located on 213th Street and Broadway. The address is 5030 Broadway. I'm the new director at CUNY in the Heights. We are open, even though I know we're in a pandemic, but the goal with CUNY in the Heights is to promote all of our free, no-cost classes that we are offering to the community. And they are as follows. Please share this. I will definitely, after tonight, most likely tomorrow, I will send everything to Senora Fe so she can share it with everyone via email, all the flyers. But at CUNY in the Heights, we right now are promoting our free class to learn English. Right now, it's going to be hybrid. God willing, it will be, the idea is that it will be at CUNY in the Heights physically, but it'll be hybrid. So anyone that you know that would be interested in learning English, there is no cost. And right up front, this is one of the first classes that I'm going to announce, but the best way to get more information right now is send me an email or call me. So I'll give both. My phone number, my assistant is answering all inquiries. It's 212-776-6611. That's 212-776-6611. And for any inquiries about any of our classes, Spanish, English, all welcome. The email to learn more about any of the low cost or no cost actually programs that I'm promoting, our email address is C as in cat, I, T as in Tom, H as in Harry, at B as in boy, M as in Mary, cc.cuny.edu. So that's CUNY in the Heights. So that's CITH at, and we're administered through the Borough of Manhattan Community College. So then it's at bmcc.cuny.edu. You will get me. Okay, so I'm announcing that we're having a no cost class to learn English. And we do plan on starting it at the very end of January. So if you know anyone, tell them now to email me, call me, so that we can, fill out the forms, get it going. So then that's that. The next thing we are also offering is a no-cost class for SOT, which is Security Officer Training, and it's free. So again, same, that one though, it will be on site and for the first day, but then after that, the rest is virtual. Any questions, just you have my email, you've got my phone number. So that Security Officer Training, that should start on February 14th. The English class at the end of January. And then the last one that I'm also promoting is our OSHA class. In other words, for construction, we have a no cost OSHA class, and that includes, it's 30 hours, no cost, plus the 10 hours for safety training. And of course, you can be certified. So that's what I'm promoting tonight. The next thing is, I also want to promote in the community, if you are with a community-based organization, a school, I'm available for presentation to promote the credit-bearing classes and the non-credit bearing. In other words, if you have students that you want us, which I mean us, CUNY in the Heights, to talk about the importance of going to college, the importance of realizing your dreams despite challenges. I myself, I also do true story for myself. Since I grew up in Washington Heights, my dad was a janitor, my mother sewed ties in a factory. I was the first Latina, first one in my family to graduate from college. College saved my life. It's my passion. I've been doing it for now almost 2 decades, running large college access and student success programs. And I've been now with CUNY in the Heights since September, but I know the community, my family still lives there. And I'm just blessed. And I just wanted to share with the community that we have these programming, they're free. Please take advantage of it. I just want to get the word out, however, and just bring CUNY in the Heights back, you know, because we were closed down to renovate and now it's gorgeous and beautiful. And we want the community to take advantage of it. So I do Zooms, I do in-class presentations, I do anything, Spanish, English, and just thank you for the time. But those are my announcements, just getting the word out. I'll make sure that Senora Fe gets all the flyers. Okay, thank you so much and have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Rendero. Absolutely. You can, if you want, you can leave on the chat, you can leave your information as well, so people can definitely reach out to you.
Thank you.
Ms. Byrne as well can do that. And I think Tatiana probably already did it. Yes. So, and thank you again. Yes. So I also wanted to, I think we have the Vianela from the public library, Rivas. Vianela, Chanel, can you promote Ms. Vianela Rivas, please? So she has an announcement to share with us. I believe that she's one of the attendees. Yes. Thank you, Ms. Rendero, again. Yes. Let's see. Vianela, are you with us? Vianela raised her hand. Vianela? Can we promote Vianela Rivas, please? Can you hear us, Vianela?
It seems like she's having difficulty on her side.
Yes, okay. So let's see. Vianela, I know you're not muted. Well, maybe the Wi-Fi. Well, in the meantime, and while she speak, I wanted to share with you that on the next meeting, we're going to have an announcement that is going to, actually a presentation. It's a new bilingual program, and not so new, but you know, I think they come with some new initiative. They call the Jazz Power Initiative, which is an open studio at the United Palace. So they are now open for registration for youth on the age of, in the ages of 10 and 17 to get a test of a Just Power Youth in Action, as they already, you know, put it in their message. So for anyone who wanted to get registered, for the student, parent who want to register the student. So I believe that the registration is already open. And let's see, let me see if I can read what they said. The classes, they're gonna have classes in voice, dance, and theater arts. So, and that's going to be on Thursday, January 20th, February 17, March 10, from 4:30 to 7 p.m. at the United Palace, which is located, we all know, Broadway and 175th Street and Washington Heights, of course. And if anyone it's interesting, you can call at 888-1759 and contact Jenny Gonzalez, but she will be with us next month. We also have other presentation that actually from one of our, well, not a presentation, but it's an announcement that we have from a former board members. So he actually recently became an author. He wrote a book, and he wanted to share with us about his book, the experience, and many important information that I think that you all are going to be delighted to learn about the new book that he wrote. So all that will be on February 14, which is going to be our next meeting. So let me go back to and ask for Vianela. Vianela, are you with us? Hello, Vianela. Unfortunately, well, we don't hear from them. So in the meantime, so let's give our, let's give the conceal the floor to our new public member, Luis Cruz. Luis, is there something that you wanted to add as our new member? What is your expectation of this committee? I wanted to introduce you to all our members, and if you want to say something, please.
Sure, I'm so glad and honored to become a public member for the Community Board 12. I want to know what are the needs of our community, and I for sure more young people like me should join to this community and get involved in the community to know what are the problems that the community are facing and come with solutions in order to make our communities better. Thank you, Ms.
Wonderful. That's very thoughtful of you. Means you want to solve problems. Well, we have a bunch of committee, members, and I'm sure they will be delighted to walk you through, the entire experience about what is going on in our, community. And we have Wendy Peña, who is also part of the Youth Fresh Initiative. She will be a wonderful source of information. We have also Curtis John. You can learn so much from him, and he's also a young fellow like you, So just to mention a few, perhaps Daniel Bonilla, Jonathan, it's a wonderful, source of information that you can learn from them, besides me. But Gabriela Rosa, unfortunately, she's not here tonight. But I wanted just to say in general, all our, colleagues will be delighted to embrace, you and, welcome you and share with you any information that they can possibly think is accurate to share with you. And, you will learn as we go. You just learn us, you just join us as a public member. But, I wanted also to say that maybe soon you may wanted to look at the possibility of becoming official member if you like what you see in the next coming month. So members, do you have any question for Luis?
Hi, Faye, this is Maria.
Hey, Maria. Yes.
I've been listening to the meeting, very, nicely run, and a lot of education that we got from the presenters. My only advice to Luis is that as a young person, we would like to hear from you what the needs are. It's very, very nice for us to tell young people what they want. I mean, what we want them to know and to learn and to hear. But I think it's important that you can bring to the floor what is it that maybe we are lacking in order to make your future much better, and that you can get a better education. By attending meetings, you're going to hear a lot of things, but just focus on what you and your peers, the young people that you are, friendly with, have to say and your goals, and we will try to help you to obtain those goals. So that's the only thing that I can say as of now. And thank you so much to the presenter, as I said. And Daniel Bonilla, I love that car. Is that for sale or is that a, what's going on there? But anyway, so I'm not too well today, but I'll join in the next, next month's meetings. Thank you so much, Faye, and everybody else.
No, thank you, Maria. And I said, thank you, for your, word of wisdom as usual. Maria is basically the older members among all of us. And we can say that she is the founder also, of our committee. She's been on the board for more than 30 years. So she's like a Bible, I should say, without exaggeration, but just the truth, and you can learn from Maria. We all can learn from Maria a whole lot. So thank you, Maria, for sharing, your thoughts. Yes. So anybody else have a question for our new member? Michelle, yes, Michelle.
Hi, Faye. Welcome, Luis, to the board. It is definitely an interesting group, and always fun to listen to the presentations every month at Youth and Education. Faye, I also have another piece of new business. I don't know if it makes sense to bring it up now or if you want me to bring it up at a later point.
You mean an announcement that you have?
Yeah, it's just something that I've been thinking about, and I wanted to kind of put it out in front of the board.
All right. With Louis, definitely, it would be great if you can share with us. If it's not related to Louis right now, that's what I meant to say, right?
Yes, it's a separate piece of new business.
Yes. Let me finish with him, and definitely I will consume the floor to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the welcome, Michelle. Yes. So Ingrid, yes, you have a question, Ingrid, yes?
Well, actually, Señora Fe, I forgot to add in my announcement that New York City and CUNY and the Heights work together so that quickly we could get a mobile vaccination van and we got one. And I just wanted to announce it to everyone here. And if you could, if you need the following, or you can let students know, let youth, anyone in the community, it's free. We're going to have a vaccine mobile van parked in front of CUNY in the Heights tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday of this week from 8 to 6 p.m. And also next Tuesday, Wednesday, and next Thursday, again, from 8 to 6. It's free. It's open, walk in, no appointments needed. You can get your free rapid test, free PCR test. They're also offering the vaccination Pfizer and J&J booster and vaccine. And they also offer, if you're not even vaccinated, they still offer the $100 incentive. So I forgot to make that announcement. I want to get the word out with everything that's going on like that. If you need a booster, if you need a vaccine shot, if you just want to know if you may or may not have COVID, respectfully, it'll be there all day. So let the community know. That's all.
Thank you.
And welcome, Luis.
Thank
Felicitaciones.
You. And by the way, Louis will be seeing you soon about his follow-up on the CUNY business. Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. Let's see if we have anybody else. We already, Michelle, I have to come back to her. And very, very last, do we have Vianela? Are you with us? I don't think so. Vianela, are you with us? I can't hear you, Vianela. She has been promoted already, right? Yes, she's part of the panel. Vianela, can you unmute yourself if that's the case? Vianela? Vianela? All right. So this is Vianela once, Vianela twice, and Vianela for the third time. I guess you missed your opportunity to make your announcement, Vianela. So yes, Michelle, so please share with us your announcement.
Thanks, Faye. It's not as much of an announcement as something I've been thinking of doing as part of my work on the Youth and Education Committee. As some of you may know, I have a 1-year-old, almost 1-year-old, and he does not qualify for many of the programs offered so far because he's not currently, in school. So I would like to understand some of the resources that are available for parents with younger children, like pre-kindergarten children, and kind of spread the word out to our community, because I'm in touch with a lot of like parents, parenting group, mom groups, and I would just love any help for if anybody has ideas for where I can start to kind of build like sort of like a resource guide for myself, as well as for, other moms of young kids in the community, of where we can go as we're thinking about childcare, thinking about Head Start, 3K, pre-K, all of the above. But yeah.
Well, okay. So if I understood you correctly, you basically need information about getting assistance regarding childcare, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think the District 6 would be a good location or a good office to start. And I can possibly might be able to get a directory for you, which I don't know if the board already may have that, but I definitely going to, we can have this conversation on the side, but I think that a good start would be getting a directory of all the child care or daycare facility that we have in our district. I know there used to be a great child care or daycare at the on 4 in Heaven Avenue, 60 Heaven Avenue, but I don't know if they are still in business. That was run very, very well. And I don't know if they're still there, but I know it used to be one in there, which is one of the tapped, how do you call that? They have a very well structured, and probably that's something that you would like to. But I don't know, because of the pandemics, remember many of these sites has been closed. So I actually lost track of them, but I definitely can find out, revise that, around the district, find out who is still open and who is not. Send me an email and tell me more precise information that you would like to know about it, because perhaps what you exactly need, you may not have articulated all the things that you need in this conversation, but if you put it on email and I forward that information to some of my friends, perhaps, I can help you much, much better. Yes.
Thank you, Faye. Yes, I think that would be super helpful. I myself, like many other parents during the pandemic, were really, really stressed with childcare, as you can imagine, with a lot of my friends, their daycare is closed. For myself, like my nanny has COVID exposure. And so that has definitely makes things very challenging, as it's hard to really work and take care of your child at the same time. So I'm open to all sorts of resources that could be helpful for parents going through a similar thing. And eventually, as we get towards,
absolutely,
state funded education, would love to really learn more about it, dig in, and give those resources back to the community.
Wonderful. And now once you get that information, you can tell your friends as well. You can benefit them as well, because that's how it works. So we don't keep information to ourselves, but we share with others so they can benefit as well. Yes.
Thank you, Faye. I'll follow up.
No, you're quite welcome. I think Katie has a comment or question. Yes, Katie, and then Louis.
I do, because I think that's a really good point. And as long as I've been on the board, we have not had, particularly youth and education, we haven't had as many presentations from early childhood organizations. And I do think that it is most certainly a need for parents who are have younger children during the pandemic. And I'm looking at I think maybe we can make some recommendations to update now that I'm the secretary for the board. There are,
Yes.
I'm looking on the website, the CB12 resources link on the CB12 website, and it has a resources directory, but it doesn't have many of the early childhood resources. So if you want, I can share any resources that we hear of collectively from our committee with the office, Ebenezer, and maybe they can update, or we can update, or I can update the overall directory with those additional resources. But take a look on the website.
That definitely would be great, and I would thank you deeply, definitely, if you can, help us with that. I know that some of the greatest, daycare that I have witnessed, not that somebody told me, but I have witnessed because I had visited them. I know in Haven Haven Avenue or street place, I think it is. It's where the community board 12 used to be. There used to be one of the best daycare in there. Also in Fort Washington, the Birch School, I think they also have a daycare there as well. But don't quote me on that. But I know Birch, I think, has a daycare. I don't know if they are still functioning in there, but we have quite a few good daycare agency in our community. It just matters that we can pinpoint them and add it in our directory. So I think that would be lovely if you can do that as well. And definitely I will volunteer to help you as well.
Cool.
Yes. So Michelle, thank you for bringing that up. Yes. All right. Anybody else? I think Louis has a question or comment. Louis?
Yes, back to Miss Maria
Luna? Yes.
Yes, about one of the needs of our community. One of the needs of our community is we need better swimming conditions for the students of the George Washington campus and the Washington Heights community. One of the needs is that we need better swimming conditions in order to offer swimming classes. A lot of the Black and brown and Latinos communities don't know how to swim. I don't know how to swim, so I'm interested in
I'm listening. I graduated from George Washington High School, and at that time, the swimming pool there wasn't working.
Yes.
But you are right.
There's
There's only one. We have like two within, our areas, which is like the High Bridge pool, on the 173rd Street and Amsterdam Avenue. And the next one closer is the one at the Riverbank Park, which they do have classes even for seniors and everything else. But you are right. We are lacking not only in swimming, we are lacking in many of the sports. The young people need to be able to participate on sport. They don't have to be, people training for the Olympics or anything like that, but it's just as far as the, keeping in good health and also keeping your mind and your brain in a healthy way. And those are things that we need to. I learned how to swim because of an accident that I had. I almost drowned in a river in the Dominican Republic many years ago. And my mother said, you have to, everybody's going to learn how to swim. So we went to the Y on Lexington Avenue and 52nd Street. That was the closest, at that time, that was the closest swimming place that we had because the riverbank wasn't around. And the High Bridge was no, in any shape, but it took Henry Stern, the commissioner, the parks commissioner, years ago to put the, the money into that, that area, the High Bridge. But you are right. We need to, the Parks Department have also right now is asking to people who knows how to swim to take the course and to train for swimming to be able to work in the summer on the beaches, to be also working as the, what do they call those things? The life servers. I can get
Lifeguards.
that information to you. So just, glad that you brought that in, that information and that question to me. So I'll follow up with you.
You see, once you mention that someone has over 30 years and founded this committee, questions start popping up.
She's calling me all. She's calling me all, Luis. That's why don't pay attention to her.
So, and last question. I would like to know about the resolution that it was passed for the George Washington campus. It was a resolution that was submitted about renovations for the school.
Oh, we have many resolutions. So we're gonna have to ask the district manager to dig them out for us, and we'll let you know.
Well, maybe let me I don't know who told you that, but yes, let me tell you this. We've been working with George Washington for many years, and one of the things that we've been advocating is actually for George Washington to open up or to fix these two swimming pools or the pool that they have, the swimming pools. And I know that Council Member Rodriguez, he allocated some funds and they only fixed one of the other pools. And he promised that he will locate more funding to fix the second pool, but that hasn't happened yet. Now, we've been advocated in our budget priority for not only for the pools, but we've been advocating for many other things like the library, renovation of the lab, and many other things. So I can share with you, our budget priority for many years. But I think that if the community can have access to the swimming pool again, in general, that would be a great thing. As things are so far with the COVID and all that, I don't think that they might be so inclined to do that. But this is something that we can always keep in back of our mind. Perhaps we can start that conversation to see exactly where we were with it. But I thank you for bringing that issue, or that matter to our attention. We can definitely speak to the superintendent to see where all this is, it's what is the status of those pending, requests. But thank you for bringing that again. Yes. All right, I think that if we don't have nothing else to add, anybody has any final question or comments? And Luis, thank you again for bringing that, and welcome to our community, to our committee.
For the opportunity.
Yes, you're welcome. Anybody else? All right, once, twice, and third. All right, so meeting is called to adjourn. It's 9:08. May I have a second on that?
Second.
And who seconded?
Curtis.
It is, yes. Okay. All right. Very good. All right. Thank you all for your patience. And by the way, remember, I need help with the minutes. I will send you the link so you can split the this. We will discuss that, offline. So thank you very much all, and have a good night and Happy New Year, by the way. Okay. Good night, all.